Welcome back to Overtime, folks. Wrapping up Season 4 here. We've had our World Championship, we've had our finals, we've crowned our champion, and kind of the season is over here for 2017, but we still got lots of stuff to talk about, players to talk to, and one of the players we want to talk to today, Metsanauris from Method. We got to see them play, and they came in second there at the World Finals. Metsanauris, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you, man?
I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for talking to us again. We've talked to you before here, and last time we talked to you, you told me that your expectations for Season 4 were to make it to LAN and to play your best. Now, obviously, you made it to LAN, and after losing in the Grand Finals, you tweeted that you were sad, that you couldn't say that you weren't sad, and that but you had to be proud of the second place at the World Championships. Do you feel that you played your best?
I think we could have won the whole thing, so not as good as it could have been, but definitely not bad, I guess.
Yeah. So would you say that you succeeded in your Season 4 goals, or you're still hungry for that victory?
Yeah, I want to lift the trophy at some point.
Yeah, well, you guys have been so close. You've played against Gale Force twice now in Grand Finals here in 2017. We'll talk about that some more later. But I just want to back up for a second. This is your first time at RLCS LAN as a competitor. This is all of you were LAN rookies here for the first time. Like, just talk to me about the experience. What was the RLCS LAN like for you?
It was like one of the best experiences in my life. It was so awesome to see all the Rocket League people, like players, staff, fans, viewers, like just meeting everyone was so incredible.
For sure. That's one of the things that everyone says every time that we have a LAN is like it almost feels like a family reunion because we all talk to each other online, but then we actually get to see each other and hang out, and it's really fun. What was there, other than the community, was there any like real big noticeably differences between this LAN and previous LANs you'd been to?
I mean, obviously this LAN was way bigger than any LAN I've been to, so just the crowd is way bigger. Everything is like, the production is way bigger than any other tournament. So it's like playing on a higher level, I guess. For sure. I mean, and other than the Universal Open is the other big LAN that you guys got to come over to, and you made it all the way to the finals, played against Gale Force there, and that was a 2v2 scene. But you guys in other LANs that have been 3v3 have actually struggled to make it anywhere in those tournaments, and here making it all the way to the finals. Was there a weight lifted off of Method's shoulders to have in a 3v3 format to make it all the way there? I don't feel like we've done that bad in 3v3, like if you count out like DreamHack, which was our first LAN tournament ever.
Okay.
So it was like we've been practicing this whole time to get better at LAN, and we have a lot of LAN practice. So I don't feel like we had anything to prove, but we just wanted to show who we actually are. We're not that bad at LAN. It was just like having that rough start with no LAN experience.
For sure, yeah. And so you got those some LAN experience out and get the jitters out before, and then we're just able to perform here. Was the size of the crowd, or like the crowd here in this particular venue, did that have any big effect on the way you guys got to play?
I don't think the crowd affected us at all. I think it was like I was focusing on the game, and like the series is so hard. I didn't even notice the crowd, and the headsets were great at the LAN, so I couldn't even really hear the crowd, except when Squishy scored a goal.
For sure. It was a very North American favored crowd. But one thing that was actually fun for me, I didn't actually cast the finals or anything. I didn't have any like role on the final match. And so I got to just go sit in the crowd with Quinn Lobdell and watch the games happen. And so many fans around were rallying behind you guys. They're like, we have 2 European teams, no North American team to cheer for. And a lot of the crowd was cheering for you guys. You definitely made a lot of fans at this event. And talking about specifically that final day, between the upper, the lower, and the grand finals, which you played in all of, you had to play 17 games straight, just an absolute marathon of a day, many of them going to lengthy overtimes. How did endurance and stamina start to play a factor as the games just kept going and going?
I mean, obviously we started feeling tired the more we played, but I mean, shouldn't really affect us too much. Like the last series definitely was a bit of like tiredness, but what can you do? Was there any, maybe it was the tiredness, was there any like big noticeable difference for you between the upper finals against Gale Force, which went to 7 games, and the grand finals, which were the sweep? Well, like the upper finals, everyone was fresh going in. Everyone was playing great Rocket League, and in the grand final, it was like they were playing out of their minds, and we were like kind of meh. So
sure. Well, just, you had already played some. You played 11 games against Gale Force that day. We were sitting there talking about it right as the grand finals were about to start. That like if you guys had managed to send it to Game 7 and get the bracket reset and then go to Game 7 again, you would have played 21 games that one day. It could have been just an absolute marathon. But you know, it was great to see the match go the way it did. And going back to what you talked about earlier, like your favorite part of LAN was just that you get to meet all these people and stuff. You know, one of the best parts of LAN in just general is the social gatherings and the memories that are made. Was there any like special fond memory for you outside of the Rocket League off the stage, you know, kind of a behind the scenes memory that people maybe didn't get to see?
For me, like one of the best memories was after the grand finals, everyone was like coming out of the cinema and everything. So we were going to our hotel room, so we step out of the cinema, and like there's a lot of people outside the cinema, and they just started clapping when we come out and asked for pictures and signatures, and that really made my day.
Yeah, for sure. That's so much fun because they have to leave the venue, but then like the fans will just all pool outside the doors and just wait for the players to come out. You guys like have to come out that way too. Like you're like, I just want to get to my room and like relax, but then there's like a line of people to try and get there. Was that your first time like having that sort of like lines of people asking for signatures experience?
Yeah, this was definitely the most people asking for signatures and pictures, but I had like some in the past, but I've never played in such a big tournament with such a big crowd, so obviously it's way bigger.
For sure. And you talked about, you know, wanting to come to LAN here, improve yourself, and you did just that. And honestly, you weren't able to beat Gale Force despite going up against 11 games against them that day. But this year has just seen this gradual transition, this gradual changing of the guard in Rocket League with, you know, the many great names that we have stood there since the beginning falling to new names, you know, such as yourselves. And in the largest 2v2 and 3v3 tournaments we've talked about already, it's been Gale Force versus Method every time. And nobody can deny that you two are the most successful squads in Rocket League right now. How does that change your mentality right now as with the world expecting stuff out of you now?
I think it's a good thing for us, since like people actually think we're good now, so we don't have to prove ourselves. We can just do our best and play our game.
That's awesome. It's good. And I like that it doesn't add a lot. You're not saying it adds pressure, that it's just, you just are able to just play your game now that you know that people are expecting what you expect out of yourself. And we talked about, you know, last interview, we talked about your expectations for Season 4 and how, you know, how much you feel like you've met them. What are your expectations now looking forward to Season 5?
Well, every season forward from now, I just want to win the championship.
Makes sense. Just got to just pull it out. That's the only thing you haven't done at this point, I feel like, is actually get the defeat. Do you feel any sort of, I know you're good friends with the Gale Force guys. Is there any sort of healthy rivalry between you guys now that they've been like right there in your way every time?
I mean, Gale Force has always been like our #1 opponent, and like we always scream Gale Force the most. We almost like every time we meet them in tournaments, and we played them against like so many times, so it's always been a kind of rivalry with them.
That's awesome. Well, it's cool to see these new stories showing up, these new faces coming and just making, you know, brand new dynasties here in Rocket League. Metsanauris, thanks so much for taking the time to talk to us. Any shout outs you got before I let you go?
I shout out at a lot of people last time, so I'll just go without shout outs this time.
Okay, sounds good. Love it, man. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. Good luck in the rest of Rocket League.
Thank you.
Awesome. That's Metsanauris there from Method. Great to talk to the players here. And we've got a lot more fun stuff to do here on RLCS Overtime as far as the Season 4 LAN went. We're going to talk about the top 10 plays. When we come back, you're going to take a quick break. We're going to break down all of the crazy, nutty goals that happened over that weekend. We'll see you after the break.